So this is a talk about some labor savings that we've seen in the industry that can be recognized doing some labeling management. So just a little bit about us. I'm Tim Barthel with Cybertrol Engineering, and we are a systems integrator. So we do controls for automation throughout the industries, a lot in food and bev. And this is really kind of timely because just being out at Pack Expo last week, I saw a lot of solutions that kind of fit what I'm going to be talking about. We've implemented different aspects of these. I know other people have, but I wanted to discuss some of the challenges that are out there and what can be done to overcome them. So, end of the line, if you've been in a packaging area where they take it from the process line, they put it into boxes, move it down the line, and then palletize it, it can look to be automated and streamlined, but there's a lot of things that are happening that are absolutely a little bit chaotic. A lot of people involved, people running around, trying to make sure that what they're putting in onto the pallet matches what's being printed on the line. And they're responsible for their little areas. So, many of the operators have good intent, but they sometimes have conflicting interests. So the operators, the drivers, they're trying to keep the line moving, trying to get production out. And sometimes they'll end up with pallets stored to the side, things that need to be verified manually after the fact. So here's a typical data flow example that we've seen out there that's all manual. So, and we're talking about orders that are coming from ERP systems. So typically there's a printout that's hand delivered down to the plant floor. From there, they'll do some manual entry or maybe a USB into their printers, labelers, and that'll label the things going down the line. On the end of the line, there's going to be another printer that they need to also manually have entries to print, and then they'll hand apply those to the palletizers. This requires operators to manually check things, and then that data is manually entered into ERP systems. Automatic implementations are available that can do all of this automatically, where there can be transactional items right from ERP down to the plant floor automatically. So your job is created, sent down, and then the production SKUs coming from the process lines, that can be tracked through, weighed, labeled, and verified. So you know that what is happening on the packaging line is also was truly coming from upstream. That can be tracked down to the palletizer where it's stacked. That pallet is then labeled automatically with more equipment. And then those transactions can be done directly back to your ERP system. So we're talking about labor savings. We're talking about taking error and labor out of these things. So if we look here, what is the comparison of the data flow? If you look on the left side, you have the business network that's really not connected very well to the packaging line. So the data gets printed. You have a person that's bringing it down and typing things in. You have another person that's collecting all the information manually. And then you have that being brought back up and manually entered into your ERP system. Where the data flow on the right side, it's automatically synchronized. The ERP and the WMS systems are synchronized both for the production orders as well as the finished goods. So where are those savings? So the labor reduction, you don't need that additional operator to type in that labeling information. It's all automatic. It avoids typos, so less error. Changeover time. If everything's coming down automatically, a lot less time in setting up the line. You don't have an operator needed out there to be running around sticking a label on the final pallets. The visual check and verification is really streamlined and automated so that they can validate it with maybe a tablet or some other form. And then just the decrease in errors of the data entry into the ERP system. So if you look at the two images, really it's going from a bunch of people in the line really scrambling to make things happen to one person kind of overviewing and validating and watching the system from an automation standpoint. So the business savings are also addressed with accuracy. So they don't have lost products. Some of the solutions that we've put in, we found that they have eliminated lost pallets that were in their building that they just couldn't find. Error correction right on the plant floor. So with the automation, they can have a tablet that they can type things in, do that transaction from the plant floor. It doesn't get delayed and entered in manually at the ERP layer, kind of 2 steps removed. And then traceability. Because you can track the products using good automation right from where the process line is through the packaging area and all the way to the palletizer, you can have that viewable as well. So that traceability, elimination of errors really add to the business savings.